Hey book lovers, I'm Elise, and today we're going to talk about my March TBR. First, a little life update. I'm no longer employed. So after 12 years in the workforce, 10 of which were in corporate America, I'm entering a new phase in my life, and I'm going to be giving the whole stay-at-home mom role a go with the baby coming in August. I'm a little nervous, but very excited. So far, it's going well. I'm definitely not bored. I have lots to do, lots to keep me busy. A couple side projects going on, but also reading quite a bit, and I'm hopeful that that will translate into more time to film, edit, all that fun stuff. So the reason I bring this up is because my availability for reading has increased significantly. So I'm going to be looking at a larger TBR. I do have a stack here of a few books that I know I want to read, but I also want to leave room for mood reading because I'm very much a mood reader. And I do have a couple reading vlogs that I'm currently working on and have in mind. So obviously I have books set aside for those, but I'm not going to talk about those in this video. You'll just have to wait and see on those. Let's get started. Okay, the first book I want to talk about is going to be the Libronauts book club pick for the month of March. In case you don't know, that is my science fiction book club. If you love science fiction or are just curious about it, maybe you just want to try reading it a little bit more, feel free to join the club. It's completely free. We do all of our chapter breakdowns over on Fable, and then we do have a live book discussion at the end of the month or early the following month. So for the month of March, we're going to be reading Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. This is the same author as Dungeon Crawler Carl, which we actually just read in January. This one's going to be pretty fun. It's already got some really great ratings on Goodreads. I did have a copy because I pre-ordered the book, but then I got rid of that because Aardvark teased that was going to be one of their picks for March, and I would much rather have an Aardvark book club copy because I love those books. They're so soft. I love them. So Operation Bounce House. A man must fight for his planet against impossible odds when gamers from Earth attempt to remotely annihilate it in this epic, fast-paced novel from the author of Dungeon Crawler Carl. All colonist Oliver Lewis ever wanted to do is run the family ranch with his sister, maybe play a gig or two with his band, and keep his family's aging fleet of intelligent agriculture bots ticking as long as possible. As a fan of Earth television and culture, he figures it will be a good thing when the transfer gate finally opens all the way and restores instant travel and full communication between Earth and his planet, New Sonora. But there's a complication. Even though the settlers were promised they'd be left in peace, Earth's government now has other plans. The colossal Apex Corporation is hired to commence an eviction action, but maximizing profits will always be Apex's #1 priority. Why spend money printing and deploying their own AI soldiers when they can just turn it into a game? Sounds like it's going to be action-packed, just like Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I'm pretty excited about that. The live show is going to be Tuesday, March 31st, 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be with my friend Brandon, who is Brand the Reader over on Instagram. The rest of the books I do have physically here with me. The next one I'll talk about is actually the April Libronauts book club pick because I want to start trying to be like a month ahead, if at all possible. I think it'll be easier for advertising the club. I like to do the mood boards, and I want to make sure that that's done like in the month that we're reading it, and I can't if I'm waiting till like the week before to read the book because that's kind of been how I've been doing it lately. Like finishing the book a day or two before the live show, and I want to not do that. Anyway, the April book club pick is going to be For Human Use by Sarah G. Pierce. This one, first of all, it's very thick, which is super intriguing. It's like, yeah, it's over 400 pages long. So this is a twisted tale of modern love, melding rom-com and horror into a wildly original debut novel. You'll never look at dating the same way again. This book is about a dating app, but instead of setting you up with a live person, it's setting you up with a corpse. Yeah. So that's fun. I'm very intrigued. The live show for this one is not quite set up yet, so stay tuned, but it will be with my friend Elizabeth over at Reading Riley, both here on YouTube and Instagram. The rest of the books, I shouldn't say the rest of them. 4 of them seem pretty light, pretty colors, so very springtime. The other one is a horror, I think, and the other one is a nonfiction. So first I'll talk about the nonfiction, and that is Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. One of my goals this year is to read more nonfiction, and I've heard amazing things about this one. I've heard amazing things about John Green in general. I don't think I've read any of his fiction because I think they're typically YA, and I don't usually like YA, so I don't think I've read his fiction, but I do have this one, and then also, what is that called? The Anthropocene. Oh, it says right here, the Anthropocene Reviewed. So I do want to read both of those this year, but this one, just because of the hype surrounding it from last year, I really want to get to this. And this was a book club pick for This Podcast Will Kill You. And they have a podcast episode talking about it, I think actually with John Green. I may be wrong, but I really want to give that a listen. And it's not super long, so I should get through it pretty quickly. So yeah, what is this about? The history and persistence of our deadliest infection, which is tuberculosis. Once romanticized as a malady of poets, today tuberculosis is seen as a disease of poverty that walks the trails of injustice and inequity we blazed for it. Yeah, it's interesting that it says, once romanticized as a malady of poets. I think I always remembered hearing that Edgar Allan Poe's, like many people in his family, died of tuberculosis. And then, of course, in the movie Moulin Rouge, heartbreaking. Next is a library book. I do have a lot of library books. I think I have like 19 library books checked out right now. At least I'm not buying them. One of them that I do really want to get to very soon is Strange Pictures by Uketsu. I don't know much about this. I know it's a horror. I know it's translated from Japanese. And I know that a lot of people have raved about it. And there's lots of pictures in here. I'm curious more than anything. If you've read this one, drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts were. The next 4 are kind of the cutesy, lighthearted fantasy. Well, there's a romance. Okay, so this one, first of all, adorable sprayed edges. Apparently Sir Cameron needs to die. I heard about this one. When did I originally hear about it? I don't remember, but what I heard about it made me pre-order it. All his life, Sir Cameron has stayed as far away from danger as possible. He is quite frankly too handsome to die a pointless death in battle. But then the church hands down a prophecy to his fellow knights. The only way to defeat their nemesis, the mad sorcerer Marullo, is to kill Sir Cameron. Short of ideas, Cameron throws himself on the mercy of the one person who now actually wants him to survive, the mad sorcerer. Marullo isn't thrilled to be babysitting a spoilt, attention-seeking knight, but transmorgifying him into a vulture is at least entertaining. Cameron, meanwhile, is on a voyage of self-discovery. It turns out he's really into surly sorcerers who lock him up and tell him what to do. Who knew? As a legion of knights surround their stronghold, the sorcerer's poisonous ambitions draw ever closer to fruition. Cameron is quite invested in not dying, but he finds he's also invested in Marullo, and sometimes supporting the sorcerer you care about means taking an interest in their hobbies, even if that hobby is trying to kill God. Even if it might get you killed too. It just sounds really fun. It's giving me Assistant to the Villain vibes, which I'm completely here for. Another lighthearted fantasy is Violet Thistlewaite is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krempholtz. This one I also don't really know much about. When I saw the cover and the title on Book of the Month, I was like, oh yes, this book is for me. Guy Shadowfade is dead, and after a lifetime as the Dark Sorcerer's right hand, Violet Thistlewaite is determined to start over, not as the fearsome Thorn Witch, but as someone kind, someone better, someone good. The quaint town of Dragon's Rest, Violet decides will be her second chance. She'll set down roots, open a flower shop, keep her sentient, mildly homicidal houseplant in check. I love that. And prune dark magic from the twisted vows of her life. Violet's vibrant bouquets and cheerful enchantments soon charm the welcoming townsfolk, though nothing seems to impress the prickly yet dashingly handsome Nathaniel Marsh, an alchemist sharing her greenhouse. With a struggling business and his own second chance seemingly out of reach, Nathaniel has no time for flowers or flippery, and certainly none for the intriguing witch next door. When a mysterious blight endangers every living plant in Dragon's Rest, Violet and Nathaniel must work together through their fears, past, and growing feelings for each other to save their community. But with a figure from her previous life knocking at her door and her secrets threatening to uproot everything she's worked so hard to grow, Violet can't help but wonder, does a former villain truly deserve a happily ever after? This one also is giving me Assistant to the Villain vibes. I think there's a bit of a trend going. The next one is This Princess Kills Monsters by Rai Herman. I think probably very similar, lighthearted, cutesy fantasy. Melilot is sick of being ordered to go on dangerous quests by her domineering stepmother, especially since she always winds up needing to be rescued by her more magically talented stepsisters. And now she's been commanded to marry a king she's never met. When hideous spider wolves attack on the journey to meet her husband-to-be, she is once again rescued, but this time by 12 eerily similar-looking masked huntsmen. Soon she has to contend with near-constant attempts on her life, a talking lion that sets bewildering gender tests, and a king who can't recognize his true love when she puts on a pair of trousers. And all the while, she has to fight her growing attraction to not only one of the huntsmen, but also her fiancé's extremely attractive sister. If Melilot can't unravel the mysteries and rescue herself from peril, kingdoms will fall, or worse, she could end up married to someone she doesn't love. 2 of these have some LGBT plus themes. And the last one of my already chosen TBR is Love and Other Brain Experiments by Hannah Brahm. This was an Aardvark Book Club pick last month. February. It's romance, but there's a lot of science involved, and I love that. Neuroscientist Dr. Frances Silverstein has success on the brain. As a grad student, she was offered a job by her brilliant boyfriend, but determined to make it on her own, she turned it and him down. Good for you, girl. Now stuck in postdoc purgatory with no job security and no personal life to speak of, Frances is desperate to make a breakthrough. Her best shot is a summer conference packed with her field's leading scientists. The only problem, it's organized by her ex, who has found the success that's eluded her. Backing out is not an option, though, because Frances desperately needs to network to save her career. Enter Dr. Lewis North. her perceptive, meticulous, and inconveniently attractive rival. When their academic sniping gets mistaken for flirtatious chemistry, Frances doesn't deny it, putting her integrity and career on the line. As soon as her prefrontal cortex is operational again, Frances realizes she needs to keep up the charade or risk everything she's worked for. Faking data is out of the question, but fake dating? That might be just the solution she needs. But as Lewis starts to make her reward centers spark, and a major setback has Frances questioning everything, she must confront what she's willing to chase for love, for science, and for the future she thought she wanted. Okay, so now we're going to draw two. Alrighty. What do we got? Pachinko, yeah! Okay, I've wanted to read this book for so stinking long. It's a little dusty. So stinking long. Okay, very excited about this. Historical fiction, South Korea. South Korea? Am I just... Korea, at least. I guess I don't know if it's North or South. It just says Korea. Japan is also mentioned. Yeah, a deep, broad, addictive history of a Korean family in Japan, enduring and prospering through the 20th century. If you haven't heard about this book, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but it has had amazing reviews. It's historical fiction. And like I said, I've been wanting to read this for literally years. I mean, this is probably one of the oldest books that I've had on my physical TBR. Okay, I'm excited. All right, let's see. Oh no. Oh no. 11/22/63 by Stephen King. First of all, yeah, Sir King writes some long books. What are we looking at? Yep, about 850 pages. You know what? I've heard amazing things about this book. It's Stephen King, like, it's gonna be good. I think I'm just intimidated at first the sheer size of the book, but also, I don't know, it's like I've wanted to read this. It's just... It just never felt like the right time. I guess March is the right time for that. So, okay. All right. Well, there you have it. Not all the books that I want to read in March, because like I said, I do have some reading vlog plans. So I have some books set aside for that. And I'm sure I'll be mood reading. My birthday is this month as well. Actually, next weekend. Wow. I'll be turning the big 3-6. I do have a massage and manicure gift card I received for Christmas. So hopefully I'll be redeeming that next weekend. It should be a good month. Lots of great reads, lots of good times. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you're most looking forward to reading in the month of March. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and until next time, bye.